Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the X-Fan Show St. Louis edition. I am Dirty. Sitting next to me is the one, the only Styling. The new hat. Look at that. Oh, we got wheels and heels on here. What's up? There it is. Look at that. Show that hat, bro. Show that hat, Big Papa G.
The original, the official one.
Yeah.
Official one.
Yeah. I
got the old one, and then I got the official.
Yeah, I like it.
And no one gave it to me. I got it myself. I bought it online because this is the only thing I can find online besides the mini football.
Hey, come on now! Don't bash the league. They're just, they're.
No, I'm not upset at the league. I'm excited for St. Louis because they're selling stuff out easily.
Left and right, bro. I know you were crying though because you weren't able to get a 5X shirt.
Yeah, I think all the big guys and all the big women or whatever, us good-looking big people. We all bought all our stuff. That's what it was. So
you're gonna get us in trouble, bro. Don't be saying big women, man.
No, big women like be called big women because they know they're good too. So it's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Get us in trouble.
Maybe if you're skinny, you can't call us big. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just calling me by my first name, Big Papa.
Gotcha. Oh, Wheels and Heels is watching AE Dynamite. That's good. And he's watching us. So thank you for tuning in. I sent the link to Sandy, but we could see she ain't on yet. So you know how she is, Big Papa G, right?
Yeah, she's busy. She's busy,
She's doing other things.
She's becoming big time for us.
She is. She's becoming way too big for the X-Fan Show. Arlington is on assignment, so he might join us tonight. There's no telling with Arlington. You never know with him. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's all right, though. He's working, so it's okay.
Is that what you call what he does, his work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be nice.
Okay, I was just checking.
We got too many people watching us, so it's all right.
Exactly. So we were going to broadcast last week. I had something come up, so we couldn't. Again, that's why we're late tonight. Had some stuff come up, but I got it taken care of. I still haven't taken a shower, so my hands are all greasy still.
All right. I can smell you from here.
I know, right? The Town Hall, baby.
Oh, yes.
Alley's Live. Now, Big Papa G, I talked about it on the Thursday show. I have to say this. I was disappointed in the fan base in St. Louis. I have to say. I don't think they showed out like they said they did.
I want to say, I don't know. I kind of think about it. I think what it was, I mean, they had the certain invitations out.
Oh, look who finally decided to join us. Big Papa, Sandy? Take a guess.
Of course. Is it Sandy?
That is the first lady of the XFL. There she is.
What's up, Sandy?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
All good.
Oh, Sandy, you got to turn that TV down in the background.
Oh.
Sandy, this dog and how I think I don't think St. Louis showed out like they should have, in my opinion.
Oh, I was proud of the show out.
Were you?
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if you noticed, but there was a lot of people that were not invited that showed up because they found out last minute because, again, an email went out and it was kind of like an open invitation. In the end part, but that's like less than 24 hours that was happening. Because if anyone that was there knows, I mean, they had sectioned off a small piece. It wasn't supposed to be a big thing. It was supposed to be a small 75 people, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think they did get to 75 people. I think what it was I think you had more people in the background, which was cool, because they showed up. So to me, seeing that, because I talked to a bunch of people that were like, hey, I didn't get an invitation. Like I wasn't selected, but I heard about it yesterday, so I came by and see if at least I can hear if it wasn't closed, like in a closed place. So, I mean, to me, it worked out. I mean, I thought that was a good thing. Overall, I mean, even there was a great gentleman there talking about his son, which I thought was awesome, about football's coming back to St. Louis. So I thought that was awesome. And it was just a great opportunity. I mean, they gave an opportunity for everybody that was there to take pictures in the end. We got to meet a lot of people. Like, I met people that I was just talking to randomly, didn't know they were part of the XFL.
Yeah, right?
Which I thought was really cool. You know, like, it wasn't no one walking around saying, I'm XFL or whatever. It was a bunch of people that were just doing their thing, being part of the community. And then I didn't realize that. But it was pretty cool. Like, overall, it was nice. I love seeing the videos. They got my big butt in that video with the construction hat, which I got a lot of comments on. But there was also a lot of people that have been watching the show for the past 2 years, ever since the XFL, you know, went down because of COVID officially, you know, the first time. And they were watching the show and they were like, hey, what's up, Big Papa? And so it was good just to come up to people and talk to people. So that was a cool thing, like, where this is actually true. Like, no one was like going crazy in a way of like, this is actually happening. Like, this is for real. We can actually touch the XFL in St. Louis. And I think that was the thing. So now that the town hall happened and people are actually seeing it and people are buying tickets, I think that's becoming the real norm now. Like, okay, they're for real. They're going to be here. All right, let's start moving. Let's start getting together. So I think any upcoming town halls and stuff with enough notice, I think we'll start getting people. I was kind of disappointed. I didn't see any of the craziness of the fan base in that way.
Oh, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I've seen all of these other town halls and I've seen the craziness of the fans. Like, I was really hoping Excalibur would show up. I was hoping that some of the guys from Battlehawk Mafia would show up. You know, and just a lot of that stuff. I mean, there was a lot of good things that was said, Sandy, things that we can't say, right, Sandy?
Exactly.
But there were a lot of good things that was said from Coach, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I've liked how I actually like how Coach Ben has embraced Cacaw, right?
Yeah.
We got Coach
Both of them did.
Right, and Russ Brandon. We got both of them to say Cacaw, which I really liked that. You know, we got Coach to use his hashtag fill the top, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We see that the ticket sales have went on sale, and I mean, it literally shut down Ticketmaster. I mean, it shut Ticketmaster down. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, don't get me wrong. The St. Louis fan base is still there. What I'm a little disappointed is you know, I know Sandy, you can kind of talk a little bit about this, right? I know that Sandy has been helping spread the word of the XFL, of all of the other pages, but we've had some idiots in our fan base decide they're going to be bullies.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, go on, Sandy, elaborate a little.
Some groups just don't care how people talk online. Mm-hmm. And you got kids that go on these pages that like the XFL, and some parents just don't want their kids to see what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And they won't budge. It's either their way or no way. Now, if we could come to an understanding and an agreement and get all these groups together, we could have a massive $100,000 group, 100,000 member group.
Mm-hmm.
If we could combine them all.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, I was just a little disappointed. I understand that, you know, the whole Viper thing. I understand that, you know, where that started at and all of that. But do we really need to go make live memes of it and put it on another page's thing?
No.
We and I mean, we want to show the XFL that we are the best fan base, right? Here in the XFL, right? So we need to help grow everything. We need to help grow all these other fan bases. You know, like, look, we got a Battlehawk here from Springfield from Scott Hopkins. So that's all I'm saying. It's like, let's tone it down a little bit, guys. You know, there is one thing, Sandy, that I'm really, really excited about. And I don't think, you know, like right here. Look, wheels and heels, horns up, the Brahmas, right? Speaking of the Brahmas, guys, I want to show you something. This is something that we don't have in St. Louis, right? So let me show you guys this. This is something that we don't have in St. Louis, and I honestly think we need it. Right here, San Antonio has their own group, the Brahma Mamas, and check that out. Why don't we have that in St. Louis? Why don't we have something like that here in St. Louis?
Well, don't forget, we also have the Mafia crew and all that stuff. We have our own taste, so we don't need to have that. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of think you got to also remember there's a lot of these, and even though we have Mizzou, there's a lot of these places where they're getting that whole college, background of sportsmanship and how to be out there and promote their team. So also, I think we were maybe the second city, and correct me that we were like the second city that probably had the town hall. So after hours, maybe
third. There was three of us that day. There was us. Who else? Us, Dallas, and one other city. I can't remember. Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando.
For the three. Like tonight, you have Seattle and Houston was yesterday. So you have Seattle tonight. Houston was yesterday. So me and Arlene talk about that on the X Fan Show Afternoon Delight. But no, here's what I'm saying. I mean, look at this right here. The fan base. Like, we have a very large tailgating group, right? A very large
Yeah, we do. We got two large groups.
Right. But here's what I'm saying. Right here. Oh, DC. You're right. Thank you, Dan. DC. Here's what I'm saying, though. This is a woman-led group right here. Now, Sandy, you're kind of starting that with the Sand Clan, the Battlehawks Sand Clan, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is what we need here. If you think about it, it's a woman ran. Who's the president of our league?
Danny Garcia.
It's a female, right?
Yeah.
It's a female. Why should we let Sandy? Here's what I'm going to put to you, Sandy. I'm going to put the challenge to you. The Battlehawks Sand Clan is going to be our female version of the Brahma Mama, Sandy. We cannot let the Brahma Mamas show us up, Sandy.
They're not going to. When it comes game time, Dirty, you're going to see Excalibur, you're going to see Mother Hawk, you're going to see all the characters we've seen in 2020.
No, but the women taking charge, Sandy. I need you to take the charge and show them.
I've already taken the charge, dude. I have got XFL.
Let there be peace on earth.
Sandy, you need to take charge and you need to tell all the female fans out there why our fan base is the best and theirs isn't.
Ours is the best.
Well,
who had the most attendance in 2020? Who had the biggest sellouts in 2020? And they're going to see larger numbers in 2023 than they did in 2020.
You should tell them, Sandy. Tell them, Sandy. Tell them, Sandy.
The Battlehawks rule, and that's just the bottom line. The Battlehawks are the ones in charge, and they're the ones that's going to show them. They're going to set the bar. Tell
him, Sandy. Tell him. My fan base is the best.
Coach Beck said it like Coach Beck said it. He'll take care of the football. We just got to show up, and you got to believe in that. Everybody has to believe in that.
I got her fired up, don't I, Greg? Look at that.
Yeah, you do. It's funny because Sandy was getting ready to do a whole WWE taking, but she was using the wrong wrestler for a minute there. Dude, she was using the wrong. She's like, so Sandy said so, and that's the bottom line.
I thought get out of that chair for a minute.
I know she was. I thought she was going to take over. I thought the screen was just going to go straight to her, and that was it. It was you were done, Dirty. I think there was.
I got scared, man. I got scared.
You know why I think the attendance was low too?
Why?
Because they only had like 24 hours when they realized it's not invite only anymore.
Oh, Sandy, look. It's Reels and Heels is saying San Antonio is going to show you up.
Bull. I'll leave it at that. I can't use cuss words.
Look what he says here. He says the Brahma Mamas are a female fan base. I think the other teams should totally have that, Sandy. Sandy, he's challenging you.
I take the challenge on.
Oh.
Nobody posts more than I do when it comes to the XFL. And nobody knows more about the XFL than I do.
What a way to start the show, huh, Greg?
I'm telling you, I'm leaving it alone. I ain't touching this one. I'm staying way back.
You know, the Bahama Brahmas, whatever the hell they want to call themselves, have got a lot to learn when they come to St. Louis.
Get him, Sandy. Get him. Tell him, Sandy.
St. Louis will kick butt, and we will take names and numbers later. Look
what Dan says. Sandy, tell him to bring it on.
Bring it on.
Tell him, Sandy. Tell him.
You just got me. I'm going to start using language I don't need to be using, Dirty. You be good.
Hey, you're the one getting all fired up. We're just
back here. We're just trying to have a show. You're the one who's getting all crazy and all wild. So
I love my Battlehawks. I got my backpack. I got my blue cap. I got 2 T-shirts now.
All right, well,
Sandy, my hat came in. You notice? I got my new hat. Came in today, baby.
All right,
is that the blue one, Greg?
It's the black with the logo on it, because that was the only one they had left.
That's cool. I got my blue XFL hat today.
All right, so let's talk about that, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about the shop and stuff like that, right? You guys were able to get your stuff. You got it, right? So you ordered.
I got my koozie cups too.
You got okay, yeah. So Sandy, let's talk about that, because I know that you had reached out a few times to the XFL on some certain things, right?
Yeah.
Koozie cups, an example, because according to you, you said St. Louis didn't have koozie cups, but everybody else did. So you reached out to the XFL. What did they tell you?
They never answered me.
Oh, no, Sandy, I was hoping he was going to say something better than that, but...
Do you want me to lie and make it up, dude?
Yeah, I kind of did, Sandy. Too late. You blow it.
Forget it now. We can't go back now. We can't go back.
Sandy, it's a live show. Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to have my...
I'm sorry. We can't hear you, Sandy. What happened? We can't hear you. Sorry, Sandy. We can't... What was that?
Sandy's no. Anyway, Sandy. So talk about it. You got the backpack. You got your shirts.
Yeah.
Like, did you have a problem getting in, or how long did it take for you to get your stuff in?
Well, once I ordered from the XFL, it came in normal shipping time, maybe a week to 10 days after I ordered it.
Oh, okay. Now
I'd be honest with you. I ordered my hat on Saturday, and I got it today. So and before that, when it was just the XFL, remember, in our first show that I ordered a hat and I gave it away at the show. That hat and this one, the first hat I bought, which is the fitted hat, when I ordered it, I literally got it within 4 or 5 days. I didn't have a problem with it at all. So I think with the shipping part, I think it is working out. Remember, 2 years ago, people were just getting their stuff before the third game was about to start.
Correct.
And then remember that at the tailgate party, that second one that we were having was when they finally had an actual store outside and inside with a whole bunch of Battlehawks. So that was, and again, it was our second day, our second home game. But remember, we already played 5 games so far. So there was a lot of people that didn't have any Battlehawk stuff. That's why everybody was making a lot of their own stuff, be honest with you. Which, no one, got crazy about, but they did their own thing. And that's why you saw a lot of the cacao shirts and the cacao hats, which I had mine on all day today. But a lot of people were just being entrepreneurs and doing their own thing. So I kind of like that in my experience, the XFL shop has been doing a great job. That's not a lie, not catching up. I think they've been doing a great job. But in all honesty, at 11:04 that morning when the shop opened with the team names, I couldn't find anything in a 5X because everything was already sold out. So hopefully they'll restock.
Right. Now, I see Reels and Heels says here, he goes, I'm hearing that Dick's Sporting Goods we'll be selling the XFL merch like they did in 2020. You know, that wouldn't surprise me if that's what's going to happen. You know, and then, you know, another great fan, Ashley Underwood, to paraphrase the great George C. Scott and Dr. Strangelove, we cannot allow a fan group gap. Sandy, you got to get on it, Sandy. You got to show
that. I didn't hear that all, Dirty. It cut out.
He said, to paraphrase the great George C. Scott and Dr. Strangelove, we cannot allow a football fan gap. Sandy, you got to get on it. You got to show the Brahma Mamas who has the better female fan base, Sandy.
We do.
You got to show them right now.
It's like when people started showing up at Bally's.
Yeah.
I had so many fans come up to me and introduce themselves because they recognize me. And what we're going to do, we're just going to triple that. Quadruple it, whatever you want to how you want to call it. Everybody's going to back everybody, and the stadium will be filled. I'm telling you.
All right, yeah, let's talk about that because I've been recognized, right, a few times from doing this show, right? You guys have been filling in with me when Arlington cannot be here on a Wednesday night for the St. Louis show. Like, are you guys starting? Like Sandy, you just said it. What was it like when you went to that event and people were coming up to you and going, "Hey, I know you from here," or "I know you from there"? Like, what was that for you? And like,
it made me feel good. It made me feel like what I do, people are paying attention to, and it's helping. I'm spreading the word, and people are listening.
Yep.
All right, Big Papa G. I mean, I know you were on stage last year. It's all good, Andrew. I went on a little early just to throw you off, Andrew. I did it just to do that. Big Papa G, I know you were on stage, but I know since you've been broadcasting with me and, helping with Arlington, like, what are you starting to see when people are like, well, hey, don't I know you from here or don't I know you from there? Like, what are you to see?
I think, with me personally, I still, since the whole XFL was coming back, and they had the website out. Like I said, I bought my hat, and I've actually been wearing the XFL hat for a lot of my shows on the weekend. And always at my shows, I always say, "Hey, how many Cardinal fans do we have here? How many Blues fans do we have?" And I was like, "And how many Battlehawks fans do we have?" And you'll hear people, getting into it. I said, "No, if you're a Battlehawks fan, you know what I want to hear." And they come out and they go, "Caw, caw." So I still get that. I just had that this past weekend. And people are loving it, and they know. They're like, "Hey, what's going on with the XFL? Hey, do you know about this, about that?" And there may be some things I may know, but I'm not going to talk about it because you know what? If it doesn't come from the XFL, then you shouldn't be listening to it. So I always tell them, watch out and listen to the XFL. Don't hear anything from anywhere else. It's got to be, if it's true, it's going to come from the XFL. Don't worry about all these podcasts and shows. And like I said, even though I'm involved with a couple of them, you know what? If it doesn't come from the XFL, don't believe the hype. But I do tell them, you know what? We're ready.
Right.
St. Louis is ready. Buy your tickets. And people have been coming up to me at events, personally, at my job. And, when they see me around St. Louis and Metro East, they'll come up to me and they're like, "Hey, Big Papa, I know you with the XFL. You did some stuff with them. Hey, when are they selling tickets? Hey, can I buy my tickets? Blah, 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 blah." So stuff like that, I've just been throwing it back to them. I say, "Hey, join the huddle." That's a great way to get involved with the XFL, is getting involved with the huddle. And that's that little crew that they put together, which is not little anymore. So, it's been an eye opener. I'm glad it's happening again. I'm hoping, like I've been telling a lot of people, I'm hoping to get the call. And the call is, that I want to be back with the XFL, hopefully tailgating, maybe playing music inside the stadium this year, for 23. Things like that I'm hoping for. But anything they would like for me to do to get involved, I would love to get back involved with it. Because remember, when they came out in 2020, they literally gave me tickets to give away at my shows on the weekend.
Yes.
And I took them away and take pictures with them, and they gave me posters. So I was a big, help on, I felt like I did my part as far as pushing the XFL 2 years ago, and I'm happy to do it again, in 2023, of course. So I think it's, I'm enjoying it. No matter what happens in the future, with the XFL, to me, I'm going to be a fan no matter what. So I'm loving it. I love spreading the word. And like I said, people see me with the XFL hat. They see me with my new one, which I got today. Anything I'm wearing, like no one gave it to me. You know, this is the stuff I buy because I'm a fan no matter what happens.
Now, Dan says right here, it was a pleasure meeting Sandy. So, Danny, it was great seeing you.
I just want to say it was a pleasure meeting him too, Dirty.
Right, yeah. And then Wheels and Heels says, so is it true that the former DC quarterback will be in the draft pool? Listen, there's a lot of things that are out there. I mean, some are true, some ain't. You just got to kind of dig through everything. You know, I mean, if you kind of look, you see all these players keep talking about how they're going to be in the draft and all that. So there's really no telling. They say they got a draft invite, but who really knows? I mean, that's the thing. Nobody really knows. But you could just guarantee you this. The XFL knows who they're going to go, and they already kind of have players they're looking at to get. So, I mean, who really knows, right? You know, Andrew says, has the huddle been active at all? I haven't gotten anything in a long time. To be honest, I haven't either.
Me either.
Sandy, have you gotten anything?
No, the last thing I got was the invite to the meet and greet because I was in the huddle.
Right. I mean, I do know with the ticket sales that started on, what, was it last Friday, correct? I think Seattle and one other city went on sale last Friday, right? Seattle, DC, somebody else. Tickets were selling well. And then with the town halls, and then St. Louis started on Monday. St. Louis, and I can't remember, there was a couple other cities, right?
Yeah.
And ticket sales have been going great. Now you got the San Antonio tomorrow tickets go on sale. And then you got the town hall. So it's a lot of craziness going on in the XFL. You know, and like we've said hundreds of times, there's constant moving parts, right?
Constantly.
Right. Now, though, I mean, there is one thing there are a couple things that we can talk about from the meet and greet, which I'm kind of seeing that it's the same from all over, right? Is that now see some ticket deposit holders got their tickets on Monday. I had access Monday. Just I couldn't get in because Ticketmaster got shut down.
Yeah.
So I made a few calls and I got my ticket taken care of. I know Rick Story has posted on his page and the St. Louis tailgating page. If you guys want to sit with the St. Louis Battlehawk tailgate group, which is ran by Rick Story, section 145. That's Rick's section.
I've seen that today.
That's where he's sitting at. So if you guys want to sit there, go to section 145. You'll be sitting in Rick's section. Now, the one thing that I did like about with Coach Beck, it seems like to me that they are going to make Coach Beck the face of the city.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Now, tell me how you guys feel about this. Russ Brandon said, because somebody asked the question, are you going to get the teams out in the community? Russ Brandon said, yes, the teams will be over there. The teams and coaches will be in the cities a few days before the game and be out in the community. Now, how reassuring was that to you guys as being fans, possibly have another meeting? Andrew, that party ain't going to be over in 103. I can tell you that right now, brother, because Dirty is sitting in 145. That's where the party's going to be. But how do you guys feel about that?
The dedication and passion I heard from Coach Beck and Russ Brandon just sold me on everything because they were so dedicated to both St. Louis and the league. But okay. Coach just said, give it to him. Give the football to him and just show up. Like I said before, his dedication is so heartwarming.
I think it goes back to, I agree. Coach, I think, is going to be the face. I think that the main reason for that goes back to the original statement that he talked about on the show and has been said, and this was, 2 months ago now? When he was on the show? One of the major things he said was, don't get upset, don't get too attached to players on the team because they are going to move on. if they're that good, they're going to move on. So
Right.
the reason being is like, don't get attached to this quarterback or this running back, whatever your favorite player, because if he's that good, he's going to be moving on to an NFL team or anything else besides XFL, but he's going to be moving on. So the whole thing is that we can probably for game day or game 2 or game 3, put the face of the quarterback, whoever the star is, but coach is here to stay. He's not moving on. I mean, that's what we're hoping for anyway. But his purpose and the XFL purpose of putting the XFL together and teaming up with the NFL, again, is to get those players, get that chance to shine in the XFL and give them another chance, or maybe their first chance, to go to the NFL. And
Right.
so I think that's the reason why they're pushing that whole coach. They're not pushing a certain player. They're not doing that for the simple reason that we can be behind the coach and that great quarterback or that great running back or whoever we have that's doing a kicker is awesome. We're not going to see him the year later because that person had the opportunity to move on up. And so I think that's the major reason why I think they're focusing on making the coach the team as far as the face of the team.
And I like that you said that, Greg, too, because it was asked to Russ Brandon. He was asking about that. He's like, look, there's a partnership we have with the NFL. He goes, we want to see guys like, he goes, think about it. You had guys like PJ Walker, right? And you had guys like Tyler Heineke, right? Make it to the NFL. Mm-hmm. You're rooting for those guys, right? You're rooting for them. And he's right. I mean, PJ Walker was a Houston Roughneck, but I root PJ Walker on when I'm watching a Carolina game because I want him to do good.
Right.
I have never been a Commanders fan, right? But I'm watching because Tyler Heineke's playing, and I'm rooting him on, right?
And he never played in the XFL even.
Never played in the XFL. And look at this. The guy's a great quarterback. So
yes, he is.
I think, I mean, is like, let's just say another player from another team, right? I'm just going to put out Cam Phillips, the former receiver for the Houston Roughnecks, right? Let's say he's on the Vegas Vipers, right? But he makes it to the NFL. Are you guys going to be rooting for Cam Phillips in the NFL as a player because he came from the XFL? Or are you going to be like, that wasn't my team? How are you guys going to look on that?
I mean, it depends on who you're talking to, what kind of fan. Like, of course, anyone who leaves out of the Battlehawks, for me personally, anyone who leaves out of the Battlehawks that goes to a NFL team that's not the team I root for, I'm going to be rooting for them. I'm going to be looking out for them.
Okay.
As far as and there may be certain players in other teams that stand out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give him that extra push. Like, yeah, I'm going to watch out for him. Oh, I remember when he was playing against the Battlehawks. Or I remember that game he played that beat us. So, well, that's not going to happen. But still, you know what I mean. Anything like that happens, yeah, I'm going to cheer them on because again, they're coming from the XFL. It's just like
Greg. So yeah, wheels and heels in here, reels and heels, and I want to say it was Dan or is it Andrew? They're going back and forth talking about how the Battlehawks. Wait, somebody said, "Oh, Wheels and Heels says I'm calling it now. The XFL championship game will be San Antonio versus St. Louis." Dan goes, "We're taking the XFL by storm." Reels and Heels says 20 on it. Dan said he was, but Dan's never responded back. So, all right, go back what you were saying.
No, I just think overall, I think it's just going to be an opportunity. Yeah, you want to support them. It's just like following a kid from high school that went to college and then from college is now playing in the NFL. We have a kid here in Edwardsville, Illinois, who graduated from Edwardsville High School, ended up going to college. People were watching them, and then when he got picked up by the Bills, 2 years ago now? I think this is the second year. You know, my daughter goes to school with his brother, and it's like we've all, like the team, the kids, they follow the parents. Everybody knows everybody. So now I was happy to see the Jets play the Bills. Was I cheering for the Bills because of the kid? Not this time because of my Jets, but that's a different story. But anytime when the Bills are playing, do I look at the TV screen? Do I want to see if he pops up? If he's playing, how well is he playing? Of course. Why? Because we're following him. Because there's a reason behind it. So I think it's if you got someone from the XFL that's making it to the NFL, yeah, I think you're going to be following that person, especially if it's from a team that you're playing, that you're rooting for officially.
Sandy, I mean, do you feel the same, or what's your take on it?
I feel the same way Greg does.
Okay.
I mean, if they're an XFL player and they made it to the NFL, hey, give them kudos. They got there. How they got there, it doesn't matter. They got there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, on that, Vince puts up a really good question. I'm curious to what percentage of players will be above 27. If they're good at 27, they may not have not make it given the age. They have to be lights out stellar if they're above 27. And then he also rebuttal to that question is that the USFL clearly went pretty young. What are you guys thinking? I mean, look right here. He also puts, XFL 2.0 and had a pretty good distribution. Christian Michael, 29 at the time. LaDamian Washington, 29 for an example. What do you guys think? Are you wanting them to see a more younger age group, or like Vince said, a good distribution of the ages for players? Me, myself, I just want to see good quality football.
That's it.
That's it right there, Dirty.
I could care less how old they are or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people hate it, and they hate when I say it, but look right here. Andrew says that Austin Proehl is still a free agent and just 27, right? Look, I know people, they hate it, but I think a guy like Colin Kaepernick could thrive in a league like the XFL. I think a guy like Johnny Manziel, as much as all of the headaches and troubles that he's caused, could thrive in the XFL. Would I love to see one of those guys on the Battlehawks? I mean, I don't know. They might not fit Coach Beck's scheme, right? But like T.O., dude's 40 years old, but I guarantee T.O. could still ball.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see T.O. in a Battlehawk blue. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really on the player and the quality of the player. Hey, look, you could say no Kaepernick, no Manziel. You want all you want. I get it. I get why people wouldn't want it. But listen, you're going to have to bring in some kind of star power. We can't rely on Dwayne as the face, because as we've seen, Dwayne's not. He is the man behind it all. He's making the coaches and stuff as the faces of the teams, is what he's doing. Like Jimmy Glosson. Hey, you can laugh all you want, Vince. I'd see it. I was reading somewhere. Somebody said, could we start a petition to have we could have Chase Daniels in the XFL? I'd like to see that too. I think Chase would do good. I like right here, this one right here. I'd love to see Ocho. Love to see Ocho Cinco join the XFL.
What about Beckham?
Right? I love Chad Johnson, one of my favorite players of all times. Chad Johnson. I'd love to see Ocho. Just like what Ashley said here, I just want to see good quality football.
I think that's the major key. I think the major key is that we're looking for quality football. We're not looking for every young prospect. We're looking for quality football. You're gonna have to get that veteran. Think about it. Just St. Louis alone. We love comebacks. We love a second chance. We've got second chance winners here in St. Louis. Okay, not just talking about football, but we're talking about looking like Pujols coming back to St. Louis and doing what he did. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about. I mean, we've got tons of when it comes to St. Louis. We've got those comeback players.
Quinn Flowers. Love to see Quinn Flowers. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Got to give Brian a big shout out. He's a newer fan, really enjoys all the shows, has been preaching and, posting us up. So we just got to say thank you to that, sir. I really do appreciate it.
We're going to have to bring one of these. We're going to have to bring one of our, one of our people to come on, as a surprise guest, like maybe Brian one time to come up and talk, and be part of the show. So that's how, I mean, it would be nice to get some of our fan base to come out and get involved with the show one day.
Well, now,
Maybe we'll do that once in a while.
speaking of fan base, we were at Bally's, right? ESPN has reported there is going to be a draft. The league really hasn't confirmed it, but, speculation has told me that if it comes from ESPN, it's usually pretty true. And now everybody's starting to see it. Listen, I would love to see that man back, but I think we ain't going to I think you're going to have to watch him in the USFL.
Hey, wait a minute, Dirty. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to bring up real quick.
Okay.
Because I've been getting a lot about this.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that a couple of weeks ago, a week or two ago, people were talking about, hey, the draft is happening here and here.
Yes.
People were finding stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was, and I had to learn this too. That's why I'm preaching it, because I learned it and I want to make sure everybody else does too. And I talked about it a little while ago. If it's coming from the XFL, it's true. If it's coming from other sources, watch out, because sometimes it's not true. And that's why I'm saying watch out and look for the XFL. But I did, if I'm not mistaken, and someone has to correct me, I thought the XFL, when I looked it up, XFL officially announced Las Vegas on the 16th and 17th.
All right. So now I know we were talking about it, right? And I said, and I just left it alone. I didn't talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You called me up and you're like, Greg, well, hey, didn't it happen already? And I'm like, well, no, not really. So now, ESPN article was written, right? Yes, I am. Yes, you are right, Vince. Or Dirty on the chair of speculation. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Now, I will have to say this. Yes, ESPN did report, and Mike Mitchell reported it back in, I want to say around like April or whatever, about the XFL, right? And the draft being on November 16th and 17th, right? Now, I've seen everywhere else, Mike Mitchell has said that it looks like it's going to be in Vegas. I've seen other places say it's going to be in Vegas and Enterprise, Nevada, which is basically Las Vegas. Now, the league has not come out and 100% said this is when the draft is going to be, right? But look, I'll give Mike Mitchell all of his credit in the world. When Mike Mitchell usually says something, it's about 95% right every time. Right?
Hey, Dirty, can someone, real quick, because I can't, because I'm on my phone and I don't have my computer. Can someone check and type in xfl.com and see if it's on part of the news?
Well, I did, and it's not on there.
It's still not on there? Okay.
Not on there.
Well, whoever's posting it is doing a really good job making it seem like it's coming from the XFL.
Now, I did go to NBC Pro Football, right? And they said that the XFL draft will be November 16th and 17th, but they haven't said where. They said Las Vegas, but they haven't gave a city or a venue. Oh, look at this guy wanting to come join us. Who's this clown? I said,
Hey, Arlington.
Hey,
I'm with you on Tuesday and Thursdays, man.
oh, nice that you could join us.
Not work, man.
Right? Yeah. So, all right. Here you go.
He's on assignment.
It says, I wish we could know about the draft officially just so I could make plans. My baby Hawks are still too little for draft parties. Now, that's funny that you say that, Greg. You might have been in some contact with some people, right? I know Sandy has been in some contact with some people. Now again, we're telling you, we don't know if this is 100%. These are just things that are in the work.
Right.
Who would like to go first?
Greg can go first.
Okay.
It's not much until tomorrow when I find out and see if I can actually get an answer of what's going on. I do have a source. I actually met the person at the event. the town hall event. So I'm going to give him a call tomorrow and find out exactly what's happening, because I know that that town hall was kind of not last minute, but it was prepared, so it was supposed to be a small group.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to find out tomorrow and see if I can get some answers. I did put out an email before the show to find out anything that's happening in either where the location was, the town hall was, or if there's anything specifically happening in St. Louis. But again, if I find out and it's happening, I don't know if I can share it. So that's the only problem. Because then I also don't want to be, blacklisted or be put in a corner with the XFL because I'm talking without really, having that permission to talk. So if I do find out something, which I'm understanding there is something going on for the draft. That's all I know.
Right. Now, with that being said,
mm-hmm.
when we literally say, we all three of us can vouch here, am I right, Arlington and Big Papa G? We all three can vouch. If we want to get some dirt dug up, who do we go to? Who do we go to? We all go to Sandy, right? Because we know Sandy's not afraid to ask anybody any question.
Nope, she's not.
Even if it's off the record.
No, just like I tagged Danny and Rock, I said the town halls are all good, but we need to get the meet and greets going and get, even if it's just with staff until before the draft. We need to get to know these people.
Now, I want Danny. I want to officially see Danny in St. Louis, because one of the things I'm doing that I'm trying to put together.
Dan goes, no, she's not afraid to ask.
No, she's not. I think I would love to get Danny out here. One of the things I'm putting together, and I'm starting stronger in the next week with it, is I'm getting the Hispanic, the Latino population in St. Louis involved with the XFL because of Danny Garcia.
All right, put that back up. Because, Vince, I'm going to give you maybe a little bit of insight on your comment.
You can't be rude to me, Mom.
Oh, get her, Sandy. Get her, Sandy.
Go.
I'm your favorite kid, Mom. You know this.
Oh, don't talk about it. This is a live room.
I know you're wrong.
That's my daughter, guys.
Arlington, put that back up. Vince, I'm going to give you a little tidbit. Go back and look at Sandy's Twitter feeds and some of the things that she's asked of Rock and Danny. Some of those things have come true. So
I'm not bashful.
They have been listening to Sandy, and they know who Sandy is. I mean, it's very simple. They know. And if you guys, like I said, go back and look at some of Sandy's tweets over the last few, year.
Yeah, I gotta go at least almost a year or so. At least a year. At least a year.
27 months. Some of the stuff Sandy's asked for has come true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying. So
hey, and she was on them every single day.
What do you mean, on them every single day? She's still on them every single day.
Exactly. That means she ain't stopped. Her energy has not stopped.
And it's not going to until I get on the field and I see the Battlehawks playing and I see us get a win and then I see us get the championship.
My God, Sandy, you need to get that. Hey, listen, the Brahma Mamas are taking over the female fan base, Sandy.
No, they're not.
Yeah, Sandy, they're taking
female fan. They got a long way to catch up with me.
I'm just telling you, Sandy.
I just grew the group over 100 people in the last 30 days. We're over 16,000 in my group alone.
But, Sandy, they just started their Brahma Mamas, and they're in 30 days, and they're already at 2,000 members.
I said 16,000.
Well, you've had 2 years. They just did it in 30 days, Sandy.
That's what he was getting at.
You know what? It's going to drop because so many people...
The mic just dropped on that one. I'm stepping back on that one.
I'm
Those
just
are fighting words, Sandy.
Sandy. Get him, Sandy. Come on.
I can't read it.
It says It says the Brahma Mamas are too much drama.
Yes.
Sandy rules the Battlehawk roost.
Amen.
Well,
It's a
they're
lot.
catching up to you. They're catching up to you, Sandy. You better do something.
My group's only going to grow. I got a target of 20,000 before kickoff.
That's a
Look,
good mark. That's a good mark. That's a good
You
mark.
got people sticking up for you. Dan saying the Brahma Mamas have nothing on Sandy. It says right here, Andrew, the ultimate would be if we could get the opening game in St. Louis, and finally, when we get a finally football has come back to St. Louis from the Rock. You talk about a big pop from the STL. Sandy, look, the fans are sticking up for you. I don't think you're doing a very good job. I think you need to get the women's fan base stoked up more. I think you're slacking on this, Sandy.
You do.
Yeah, look, right there. Look what Brian's saying. He's saying it horns up. Look, Sandy, we got people from San Antonio on our show, and they're giving up the San Antonio horns, Sandy.
You know why? Because they ain't got a show of their own to watch.
Oh God, Sandy. Jesus, Sandy. God. Sandy,
And when they want to watch a good show, they got to turn into you guys.
Sandy, we're supposed to grow the league, not alienate the league.
Yeah, don't alienate them. We need to invite them on the show. Let's invite them on the show.
Oh, Sandy's getting angry, Arlington. I got her all riled up. Look at her. Look at her face.
Yeah,
Her face.
you always find a way to rile somebody up.
You got Sandy all upset that my phone fell down. That's how bad it was. You got so upset. Like,
Sandy, here they go. They're telling you horns up. Horns up. Oh, you got Sandy. Look, you got a call is the law.
That's right.
Oh,
that's right.
Andrew says that. Hold on, let me get to it because now you stop, Arlington. The messages are starting to come in fast and furious now. You got Sandy is the XFL. And
Thank you, Andrew.
You got kick his ass, Seabass. Whew.
Thank you, Ashley.
And then we got in Hines we trust. Oh, Sandy. There's
Oh, no, you got bad taste, dude.
oh, the draft. What's
Everybody want to know about this draft stuff, right?
Let's talk about it. So here's what we do.
Hey, wait, hold on, Vince. What's the story you looking for?
What's the story you're looking for, Vince? Because here's what we do know. Greg corrected me 2 weeks ago on the show. Yes. Sandy, look. Dan says, in Beck we trust.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Thanks, Dan.
Well, you didn't, Sandy. Brian said
I was going to say it.
Hey, stop giving her hell, Dirty.
Fans
Yeah, come on now, man.
No, because see, here's what happens. I get Sandy all fired up, and then the next thing I know, my phone starts blowing up from people going, Can you tone Sandy down? I'm like, nope, Sandy just Sandy. I just let her do her thing. That's how it works. I get her all fired up, and then she gets pissed off. And that's why we get so much.
Yeah, but see, I'm going to get on Twitter and almost start asking Danny and Rock what the hell's going on again.
See?
You're going to get riled up again.
That's what people want to know. And Sandy's the one to do it. So here's what we do know. Greg corrected me. Yes. ESPN has reported there is the draft. Now, they said it's the 16th and 17th. No time or anything like that. There have been reports that it is going to be in Las Vegas, but again, the league has not confirmed. That is all from ESPN. Now, if you've been in some town halls, there have been some things. See, look. See, Dan says, keep. This is fun. Keep it going, Sandy. See, they like it.
Stick to the topic, sir.
All right.
So, Dirty, a quick question.
Okay.
Do you think they're going to assign quarterbacks on the 15th?
Ooh, see, that is the rumor. I know that me and Arlington are kind of working on getting some former. Where's he going? Oh,
he's going to get some more of that merch.
Yeah, see now. Brian saying here it should be confirmed by tomorrow. You're right. That's what I've heard, that the draft and all that times will be by tomorrow. I agree. He says, I know some folks. Yeah, I know you do, Brian. So do we. I'm going to speculate this. We should be hearing something very, very soon about the draft. Now, the quarterbacks, Me and Arlington are working on that. We actually want to get some people on from the 2020 league to talk about the differences between 2020 and this version. Now, we've talked about it, Arlington, that it was very micromanaged in 2020 by one individual. Am I right?
Oliver Luck.
No, it wasn't Oliver Luck. Wasn't Oliver.
No, he had a lot. He had a lot to do with everybody getting involved.
True, but you didn't know about the person behind the scenes that was actually pulling the strings.
Where's my my Arlington Vince?
Oh, you need that?
Yeah, he was the one that was micromanaging a lot of things. Oh, great, here he comes. Thanks, Sandy. Here comes Arlington Vince.
Well, listen here. Listen.
Sir, yes, sir.
I had to handle everything. You know,
Okay.
I thought I had a great man in Oliver Luck, and he wasn't doing a fantastic job as everybody wanted to perceive it to be.
Now, hold on. Arlington Vince. Hold on, sir. You sued the man. The man did a good job for you. And then you go and sue the man.
No, I had to fire him. I had to fire him. It had to be done. It didn't do it exactly. He was sitting around making personal calls on his cell phone.
Okay, but
Personal calls.
Hold on. Arlington Vince, you gave him the phone. What was he
Just
supposed
for
to do with the
business
phone?
purposes only. Business purposes only. Not for personal calls. He decided he wanted to take personal calls, and so I want to get him in trouble for that.
Okay, now let me ask you this. We got a fan on here who wants to ask about the New York quarterback situation. You wanted to keep a certain quarterback playing, and
Yes, I did.
and the team basically said, no, we're not going back on the field, and according to reports, you had a hissy fit. Is that true?
I don't know anything about that. I don't have hissy fits.
No, you don't?
I don't have hissy fits. Anything dealing with the XFL, I never had a hissy fit. Now, if you want to say anything that's going on WWE, of course. When I'm on camera, I'm going to make a hissy fit.
Okay.
It was my job.
No, but you said that you were going to stick with the quarterbacks that you had, but there were
Correct.
other quarterbacks that were better than the quarterbacks you had playing, but you weren't going to play them because you wanted your quarterbacks to be played because they made the money. Is that true, sir?
That's what we were paying. We were paying them. So that's why we wanted those guys out there instead of when they had the backups.
All right.
That's why you never saw Taylor Heineke on the field.
Okay. Well, why? I mean, look how good Tyler Heineke's doing in the NFL.
Hey, I never would have known that at all. But I saw what I saw in that kid, George Tayamu, and he was the guy that I wanted to see out there. And everybody in St. Louis loved him. They loved him.
Yeah, I mean, Sandy absolutely just loved Jordan Ta'amu.
Yeah.
Sandy,
There's nothing else there is to it.
okay, Arlington Vince. I mean, I've heard a different story. I heard that you were very micromanaging and you were kind of a tyrant and a dictator.
You know what, Dirty?
Yeah, sir.
You're fired.
Okay, there we go. You heard it, Brian. Okay, now I'd love to get Arlington back because Arlington Vince is just a complete a-hole, really, to be honest with you. Am I right, guys? He really is an ass.
Well, hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, man? I mean, you missed it. Arlington Vince was on, and God, is he an asshole as ever?
He fired
Man,
Dirty.
that guy, I just don't understand what's wrong with him, man. Like, for real. Like, ever since he left, everything has now changed, his mindsets and all that.
Right.
Yeah, but you missed it, Arlington. He fired Dirty.
He fired Dirty.
Why did he fire you, man? What'd you do?
Because he's a prick. That's all I got to say about that.
What did you do?
I just asked him a simple question. Why did you throw a hissy fit on playing your assigned quarterback?
Man, you know you can't ask simple questions to Vince.
All right, now Vince from our show wants to know, wait, is the intention to assign quarterbacks next Tuesday? I'm assuming that is why the Vipers have a town hall on Tuesday. Get the quarterbacks, have the Las Vegas town hall, and avoid the stadium talks. Arlington Vince sounds like my old ninth grade.
I hate to even know who that even was.
I mean, look, as you heard Sandy say, there have been some reports out there on November 15th. They are going to aside, you're right. Ashley, I have to agree with you. We never see Arlington and A-Train together at all. Something's not adding up here. I think Arlington might have a secret there that he's not telling us with a secret relationship with Vince McMahon. But we'll leave it at that.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, do you guys? The reports are being saying that they are going to assign quarterbacks again, right? Here's my take on it, and I'll get your guys' take on it. Hey, if they do, that's great. I don't really want to see them do it, but if they do it, I get it. They are saying they're going to do 2 per team, but at least have it as a competition for the 2 guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have it as 2 guys.
I don't need. If you're going to assign guys, I would say if things like this, if you're going to do what 7 Bucks Productions does, how they make things big.
Mm-hmm.
This should be a competition between 2 quarterbacks of that team, and then the one that does the better one gets the contract, the bigger contract.
Oh, I agree. I think that would be a great idea.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know it's going to sound like, that sounds kind of gimmicky. But if we don't want to repeat of what happened back in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't want to repeat what happened in 2020, then I think that'll be best, especially for the Battlehawks, because if that was the case, Taylor Heineke would have been the quarterback of the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
You would have had, and then Jordan would have been back at square one. You know what I mean? Or even Nick Fitzgerald could have got past Jordan Teamu. They had 3 quarterbacks.
Right.
Nick got more clock than Taylor Heineke did.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And everybody's seen that. So, and we never got to, and then Taylor just comes out in Washington, and who knew except Ron Rivera.
Right. Exactly.
So I think there should be a competition for that top spot.
Right. I agree.
I'd rather see a draft pick.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, a draft, and then competing for that job.
Yeah.
Yep. Big Papa G.
No, I agree completely. I'm thinking, my understanding, I'm laughing because I don't know if you guys saw, there was something that was posted last week about St. Louis. It had like certain quarterbacks that were going automatically to each team.
Yeah, like Ryan Willis was for St. Louis, and Kyle Slaughter was the other one coming to St. Louis. And I don't know if that's true. Again, Mike Mitchell's reported a lot of stuff, and it has come true. If it's okay, it then give Willis and Slaughter the chance to fight it out to see who the better quarterback is, right?
And I think overall, that's what a lot of people want. Like if we have 2 or 3 quarterbacks, which my understanding is 2 quarterbacks per team officially, my understanding is that, let them fight it out. And I think that's where the coaches are going to be the coach. As long as they're not being pressured, as long as they're not being told, no, you have to pick this one. I'm hoping, this new XFL is going to open it up where, hey, you need to fight. And from what Coach was saying at the town hall, he was saying that.
Right.
Like, I want to put the best team out on the field. Let me do my job. You guys do your job by showing up.
Yeah,
right?
and he even made the remark. I don't care if it's assigned or not. I'm putting the best people on the field.
Yeah, because some people were asking about certain players if they're coming back, or would you accept them? I'm putting the best players. I'm picking the best players, and I'm putting the best players on game day out on the field. He's like, that's what I'm going to do. So that probably, right there, him saying that, and the way he's been speaking after the town hall. I saw some of his promos lately, and talking about, St. Louis, what he wants to do, what he's about. I think there was a new one that came out yesterday that I was watching today. I mean, all of those is like, I think he's going to put out the team there, and he's going to have everybody fight for their position. No matter if you have a name recognition because you came from another league. You were here 2 years ago, or you were in the NFL, or you were, some top, player in the college. You're going to fight for the position. So making the team is a great thing, but now you got to fight who's going to play on game day. And hopefully that's going to continue. Hopefully, like I said, if that quarterback doesn't do well in the game and there's a reason behind it, then let's go with the other quarterback. So
now, the one thing I did like well, here's the one thing I will say that I like about Coach Beck, and day after day after day, I'm seeing him more and more on Twitter, and more and more and more on everything. Right.
Right.
This Battlehawk team. There was an opinion article piece written by STL talking about how the Battlehawks can no longer be Cronky hated or filled by Cronky hate. It's a team. Beck has kind of taken that over, and the more and more I see of Beck, and the more and more I hear this man talk, it looks to me like XFL is making him the front runner of the league. I mean, out of all of the coaches, who is the one we've seen the most stuff of?
Back.
Hey, and remember, Dirty, when we first seen the coaches that got hired,
yes,
who was the most vocal? The St. Louis Battlehawks coach himself, Anthony Beck. He was talking smack the minute he was announced.
Yes.
The minute he was announced, he was already saying, we're going to be the best team in the league. We're going to fill the top. All that stuff, and saying we're going to be better than anybody that is out here. And I'm talking about, you got coaches that have been seasoned for years. And Beck was the one opening his mouth saying, I'm better than you are.
Yeah, I mean, he really was. So now, since we're already in overtime, and this is the X Fan Show, you can find us on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. I am Dirty. And standing right there next to me is my partner in crime for every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon on the X Fan Afternoon Delight Show, where we talk all XFL, the one and the only.
Hey, Trent Arlington Lane.
And right below him is the biggest partying Papa DJ in the world. The one, the only.
Big Papa G.
And then right below me is literally the lady who has let the Brahma Mamas take over the women's fan base.
Oh, no.
Oh. She's really going to speak.
No.
It's the first lady of the XFL, soon to be second lady of the XFL.
I'll always be the first lady of the XFL, and I will lead the Battlehawks, and I will get more women going to the games, and I will get more people at the games.
There you go.
Fired. Shots fired.
As soon as I said she was going to be the second lady of the XFL, did you see her cheeks get red?
The whole camera got red.
She got up. Hey, Sandy, look, San Antonio fans are back in there saying, let's go Brahmas.
Say it again.
What? Are you talking about the Brahma chicken?
It's not a part.
Oh, the Brahma chicken.
I'm waiting on someone.
Oh, watch out. A-Train's getting pulled over.
No. Somebody's trying to hit him up for money, it looks like.
A-Train, you getting pulled over. Keep the camera on. We can be witnesses, man.
I know, right?
Whatever you do, keep your hands up.
You got what's the name?
Move
Security. You got top flight security up in here, man.
All right, look what they say, Sandy. They may be the Brahma Mamas, but Sandy is the big Mama Jamma.
Ah, yes.
There you go. All right, Arlington left us, had to go back to work. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys. So before we go, what is it that what's the next thing? We know the draft's coming soon, right? We know tickets are selling well. But as a fan here in St. Louis, what is the next thing that you guys want to see from St. Louis? And we'll go Big Papa G first.
I want to see the staff. I want to know who they're going to hire in St. Louis for the staff, as far as who's going to be their community relations, marketing people, who's going to take care of the Battlehawks in St. Louis. Because I know that at the town hall, I was talking to them, and they are going to be hiring in-house, meaning in St. Louis, not coming out of Texas or Las Vegas, wherever. They're all going to be hiring just like they did. So I'm hoping to find out. I would love to know who they're hiring and get involved with them, because that's going to be a big help in promoting the Battlehawks in the community. And I think that's going to be a big thing. So I can't wait for that.
right, now, Sandy, before you go, Dan said that his wife is ready to rep all the Battlehawk women. So she's there to help you, Sandy.
I told Dan I said thank you.
All right, Sandy, as being the first lady of the XFL, and if the Brahma Mamas have it their way, you're going to be the second lady.
Never.
The XFL. Okay. What is it that you want to see? What is the next thing that you want to see coming?
I want to see some meet and greets.
Yeah.
Meet. They gotta get out in the public. They gotta get the public involved. They think the attendance was low at the town hall. They didn't give people a chance to get there. They didn't give them enough notification.
That's what I said. I didn't say the league. That's what I said. That's how I felt. Not saying the league.
Yeah.
That I said that.
That's the main thing I want to see is meet and greets. I want to get to know these people. It's like I know Coach. I met him. I know Russ Brandon. I met him. I want to meet the rest of the staff that's taking care of St. Louis.
Right.
And then once the team's drafted, I want to meet the team.
And you know what? They should definitely talk to a lot of the people, just like us, people that are watching this show. They should reach out and say, hey, where do you think we should do town halls at? Things like that, that we can let them know where to go and who to connect with. Because you know what? It was great being there for the town hall, and I understand that. But, you know, some of these local pubs, some of these local locations are just going to, I mean, they can get that place packed. So sometimes, you know, you got to think about where the locations are at. And we've got fans all over St. Louis, all over the Metro East. So, I mean, we can have a location. They should definitely reach out. So that's kind of why I keep pushing. I can't wait to find out who's in charge in the local market to promote, you know, the Battlehawks. Because we should be part of that. We should be able to help out with that.
Like Brian said right here, like I told Dirty in a private chat, my wife is super excited for the XFL. She never gets excited for anything outside of Michigan football. So, I mean, you're seeing that it's there. You're seeing that the fans are wanting this. You know, like Andrew says, he goes, I want to see the uniforms and the helmets, how they've kept it, if they kept it the same way and didn't mess with perfection, LOL. My opinion, I actually think I liked the tweaking of logos, to be honest. Until I've said that 100 times. I am not disappointed with anything the XFL done. Do I think they could have done things a little bit better and been a little more forthcoming? Yes, but I understand a lot of moving parts. This is something totally different. This is like I've said it, Sandy, 100 times. Greg, like I've said it, this is a movie production. This is a movie production, and we're seeing it.
Yep.
They're making the trailer for opening day.
Look, here's what you could say. You could say, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. I got just a little bit of information for you. XFL 2.0 was broken. It wasn't going to last because it was about ready to get the plug pulled after week 4. After week 4, the plug was getting ready to get pulled. But a certain individual got talked into it, and then COVID happened. I don't think that as much as I would have loved to have thought the XFL would have stayed around, the stuff that I've heard on the outside and then the inside, it wasn't pretty. A certain individual was going to pull the plug after week 4 and got into it.
You got to think about it. Look at how why isn't New York back? I mean, come on. There's a lot of reasons why a lot of these teams were not doing what they were doing in 2020. So, of course, they're not going to come back. I mean, there was a lot of things happening on the side that, I mean, money-wise, if you ain't making the money, then why are you going to keep something going? Why are you going to keep, you know, draining that money? I mean, there's not going to be any money out there. So, and it goes back to what you talked about before and what people knew about, too. There was a big, major problem. There was too much micromanagement happening. And I think that was killing it, too. But again, fans are fans. They don't know the inside scoop a lot about what's going on. So I think I'm you know, like I said, I'm glad to see the changes. Our logo looks great. All they did was fix a little bit. They just made it more. They just fixed it up. They just touched it up.
Yeah, they made it.
They didn't do a whole big change on it. They just touched it up.
Right. Yeah.
And that's all they did.
Like what Laura says, without living in the cities, it will be extremely important for the athlete, staff, etc., to over-index, be a present in the cities, and make a personal feel with the fans. Russ Brandon straight up said it. The teams and the coaches will be in the cities, out and about. He said that, and Russ Brandon said the only reason he came to the St. Louis Town Hall was because he was a Bills. He's from Bills Mafia. He saw what we did in St. Louis. He wanted to come to St. Louis to show us, hey, we knew whether what anybody said, we weren't dumb enough to leave St. Louis out of this. We had to bring St. Louis back in, you know. So they will be in your cities. Russ Brandon said it, and I can tell you if Russ Brandon said it, take it to the bank. And a couple more little comments right here. It said, Michael says, I would like to see them in the community more. Meet and greets. Go to events. Be nice if they were at the soccer game next week. More interaction with radio like they did with Patrico last year on the billboards. I mean, to be honest, we've had them on the show. We've sent out invitations to have them on the show. They're just very, very busy right now. See, and Anthony Beck said it right here. We will be happy with our uniforms. Yeah, we will be. Like Andrew said, and the teams are not staying in Texas forever. You're right. They're not. They're just doing it for this year. I mean, listen, they're going to be in the city. Right now, they're just getting it. We are going to see some more meet and greets. I mean, Dan, you were there. You heard what Russ Brand said. We're going to do more meet and greets.
Yeah, they got to get the people involved. I mean, they've got to get the fans worked up.
And listen, guys, when we tell you they're watching what you guys are saying, I'm going to let those two answer it because I've said it 100 times. I'm going to let them answer it. When I say that they're watching, guys, what are they doing?
They're watching.
Yeah, they're watching.
They know.
I don't know if people notice it, but there's a lot of stuff that isn't out there anymore that used to be out there. Don't mention the XFL and think that no one's from the XFL is actually watching. So, like I said, and again, there's nothing I need to change. There's nothing that a lot of other people, a lot of people didn't realize people are watching. So, yeah.
Right. And if you guys want something, come on this show. Tell us what you want. Because we'll make sure it gets to the people it needs to go to.
Oh, we want to do. You know what I like to do? Let's do another live show. I want to do another live show.
We're going to. We got to. But I do know, come tomorrow, somebody might have a big announcement. Am I right?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. All I know is I'm going to be on a cruise next week. I'm going to be on a cruise.
I just quit writing it in dirty.
I'm going to be on a cruise. Cruising around the Bellagio and stuff. So that's the cruise. I'm going on a cruise. Andrew, I'm putting up an open challenge on my beer pong table at my tailgate come February or March, okay? So maybe we'll go over and film Andrew's beer pong challenge.
You know what? If they do a stage again, a tailgate party, I want the championship game on stage.
That sounds good.
That would be cool.
Look at this. Dan says, I want to be on one of these shows, except Friday I'm going to Pittsburgh, PA. Hey, Dan, get a hold of Sandy, and we'll get you on the show one of these Wednesdays. Get a hold of Sandy, and send your information to Sandy, and then Sandy will make sure I get it. Because whether anybody wants to believe it or right now, right, he says down, book it, Dano. I know I give Sandy a lot of trouble, but I will say this. Really, without these two here in Arlington, none of this little XFL thing that we have going will actually work without all of these people here. So big thanks to Big Papa G. A special big thanks to Sandy. All right, Brian. Cool. You can do it. Hit me up. Especially a big thanks to Sandy because, Sandy is me and Arlington have said it before. Sandy literally is the glue to our foundation and keeps all of this going. So without Sandy, there wouldn't be these shows and these fan bases here in St. Louis. Am I right, Greg?
Oh, I completely. And you know that Sandy and I were interviewed for STL TV, so it should be out already. It's supposed to be out this week, so I've got to look it up after the show.
Right.
Yeah, hope you do. And then Channel 5 emailed me, but I got it late. They wanted to do an interview, and they said they already aired the show. Now they're going to call me when the next thing happens.
Sounds like a plan.
Oops. For the X-Fan Show, I am the most unprofessional professional on the internet today. Dirty, my partner in crime, Arlington, is being held up by some security guard. Please have your hands and all of that stuff taken care of. I wish you'd have stayed on so we could have made sure you were okay. I want to thank Big Papa G for helping me co-host with Sandy. Big Papa G, tell people where they can find you.
What's up? You can find Big Papa G on www.bigpapag.com. You can find me on everything else, Twitter, Facebook, whatever else, LinkedIn. Just find me. I'm all over the place.
And for the First Lady of the XFL, the glue
You can-
everything. Where can they find you, Sandy?
You can find me on Facebook. Just use my name, and you can find me on Twitter, First Lady of the XFL.
You guys heard?
I'm all about the XFL, and I'm telling you what, we're going to grow even bigger than we were in 2020.
Sandy, the Bahama Mamas are right behind you.
No, they're not.
Better get on it, Sandy. You're
They
catching-
ain't even close, Dirty. I'm paying attention. I'm watching the numbers on my own.
They're catching up to you, Sandy.
Nope.
Good for you.
Sandy, I think they're behind you right now. They're behind you, I think.
With that being said, we will see you guys next week